Welcome back, everyone, to episode 3 of Wednesday Weekly Watches, where I go over every single movie and TV show I watched in the past week. I watched about 7 movies and 2 TV shows, so let's get right into it. I went to the IMAX re-release one night only of Ex Machina, and this was the first time I've ever seen this movie, and wow. That is a true masterpiece. I was blown away by this film and the performances in it. And this comes after the news that Alex Garland said he's not going to direct anymore. He might co-direct some things, he might write some things, but he said that he's fallen out of love with filmmaking, which is kind of disappointing to hear. But so for some people, filmmaking is such a hard task, and they don't want to do it anymore. And I get it, but he made some amazing films with Ex Machina, which I now seen. Annihilation is great. I haven't seen Men. I still need to watch it before Civil War, but Civil War is coming out in a couple weeks. I cannot wait. I heard some great things, but Ex Machina, just on a technical level, is insane because it came out. When did that come out? Like 2015. And just how aware it is of where we are now, like the AI potential and all that. The script, I think, is some of the best that I've ever heard or seen in a movie. Performances are of course great, but the last last scene of just Domhnall Gleeson's character getting locked in by the AI, and that's just so terrifying to see how aware that some AI can turn out to be, in the coming years probably. And it's just such a technical movie, and it all just works so well. And you have that you have one of the funniest scenes I think of all time when you have that dance scene come up, and it's just so random, but I think it even works so well because it just fills you with such dread, and it fills you with such suspense. Like the score of this movie is insane, also one of the best scores I've ever heard in IMAX. I think seeing this in IMAX, what a treat. I absolutely loved it. It's a masterpiece. Then I watched the Thundermans Return, which is kind of like a movie special, Return of the Thundermans. I'm not the biggest Thundermans fan. I watched some of the TV show when it first came out a couple times, a couple seasons of that. And, so I went in this with low expectations, but it's not good. If you put your nostalgia goggles on, maybe you'll like it a lot. But for me, that this movie had no budget. Like the CGI was absolutely hilarious because you see this, because they're a superhero team, superhero family. You expect at least some decent CGI, but I swear this movie had like a $5 budget. It looked terrible. If you love the original show, maybe you'll love this, but I couldn't care less about it. Then I watched the Patriots Dynasty show on Apple TV. I binged the whole show in like 2 days. If you're a big fan of football and all that, if you're a big fan of documentary series, this one will be right up your alley. I really enjoyed it a lot because I'm really interested in that dynasty because, it's a great team. They were a great team. Tom Brady, he's, the GOAT of football, the best quarterback to ever live, in my opinion. So I was really interested to see, Bill Belichick, how they went at it through this whole dynasty, through all these, over decades of time. And so it was interesting to see how that really worked in that show. I thought that, it ended really strong. It was a little rocky to start for me. I wasn't really getting into it until episode 3. But, this show kind of proved what I was thinking all along. It proved that Tom Brady created this team, created this dynasty. It's all about the players in my eyes. Bill Belichick, if he wasn't there, could Tom Brady still do it? I think so, because Bill Belichick couldn't do it with Mac Jones. If you're a football fan, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Bill Belichick stopped coaching because he knew that he wasn't special without Tom Brady, because he couldn't do it with Mac Jones. Let's just say that. Tom Brady made this dynasty along with the other players, and I found this documentary series pretty great. I watched Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire two times on the same day, and you're probably thinking, why would you do that to yourself? And I'm like, I had a fun time with it. A lot of people I'm seeing hate this movie. They're saying, it's so stupid. And I'm like, what did you go in and watch? What were your expectations when you went in this? I went into this movie, expecting a dumb time, stupid humans, fun action, and fun monster, CGI and all that. And that's what I got. I got a fun time, fun popcorn movie. I didn't expect some great human developments, but I actually liked Gia's character. Kaylee Hoddle plays her. I thought that she was really good. But I didn't expect a masterpiece of a movie. I just expected a fun time. Is it the best MonsterVerse movie? No, but I really loved some of the action scenes. I loved when Godzilla and Kong finally teamed up against Scar King and Shimu. Shimu was really cool. The ice powers were awesome. And the third act was just a ton of fun, like a cartoon. It's just you watching a cartoon of all these monsters start to fight. And I think we're finally paving the way for a full, just full monster movie. Just no humans. I think that would be cool if Adam Wingard got to do his next movie, because I think he will, because that box office is looking really strong. I think it opened with 80 million. I think that's the strongest for any monster movie, maybe the second strongest. But I think Adam Wingard's going to do another one, and I hope I hope the next one he just does it with monsters, a fully CGI, monster movie. I think that would be really cool. And don't compare this to Godzilla minus one. It's on its own, and I had a fun time with it. I watched Problemista, the new A24 film directed by Julio Torres. This one got a lot of rave reviews out of some film festivals. Some people saw it when it first released. They gave it great scores, but I honestly, I didn't like it. I thought it was just kind of a long SNL sketch, and I was kind of annoyed by it a lot. It just didn't work for me. Some of the scenes they're trying to go for are just some really silly stuff, and I guess that's the point of the movie. But for me personally, it didn't work. I like Julio Torres. I liked him as an actor. I didn't feel like the direction was anything special. I think the script needed a lot of work. I think it needed to take itself a little bit more seriously, because some performances were pretty serious, some were just all over the place. So I didn't really know what kind of movie this was and what kind of movie it was going for. And it did feel really long for its runtime, with it only being an hour and a half. It honestly, I really wanted to like it, but it just didn't work for me at all. I watched the newest episode of Shogun, episode 7. We're almost at the end. We only have 3 weeks left. If you're not on the show yet, get on it. I'm not going to talk about any spoilers right here, but another fantastic episode. I will be doing a spoiler review once all 10 episodes are finished. Cannot wait for that, but if you're not watching it, get on it. It's so great. Rewatched Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and it still holds up as my favorite animated movie of all time. Oh my goodness, just watching this movie, it's insane to see how this movie actually took shape and how it looks so great. It just leveled up from the first one in so many more ways than, one could think. You have so many new great characters. You have so many other great characters coming back. Seeing Hobie just interact with Miles is hilarious. Seeing Miles interact with Gwen is, heartwarming, but, kind of sad because they're not getting together yet. You're still waiting for that. Seeing, everyone betray Miles in the end. Oh, what a chase scene in, Earth 2099. That chase scene is crazy when he says, I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm like, oh, goosebumps every single time. Then you have the whole ending where he's in his original Earth 42, where he meets the other Miles, which is the Prowler Miles. Oh, that like the possibilities for Beyond the Spider-Verse are kind of endless. That's why I just cannot wait. We don't have a release date yet. I'm still waiting, but give the animators some time. We got to give them time. But man, Beyond the Spider-Verse is going to be great, because this one was already perfect. I already watched Dune Part 2 once again. You're probably thinking, again? And I'm like, yeah, again. I finally did it. This was my 9th time going. I beat my record for the most times I've seen a single movie in theaters. The last record was set last year for me with Across the Spider-Verse 8. Now it's Dune Part 2 with 9 viewings. I don't know if I'm going to go again, because I think they're taking it out of IMAX, and IMAX is really the only way that you should experience this movie. So I think 9 is going to be the cutoff for me. I think it's going to be on digital pretty soon, so I'm going to buy it, watch it many more times on digital. But seeing it in IMAX was a totally different experience. The best IMAX experience I've ever gone through. If you didn't have a chance to see this in theaters, I honestly feel bad for you, because it's a theater event of a lifetime. If you didn't even like the first one, I'd still say go see the second one in theaters, because you're going to love it. You're going to love the score. You're going to love the booming action, booming sound, just the fight scenes. When they cut out all the score just for the knife fights, I was like, I'm kind of in heaven. This is kind of crazy right now. But man, I swear, and by the end of this 9th viewing, when I was sitting in theaters, at the end scene where he's like, the Holy War begins and all that, let them come and like bring them to paradise. I almost got kind of teary-eyed, because just thinking that this is gonna just leave theaters, it kind of sucks, because it's such a great IMAX movie. I think it should stay in IMAX forever, for all time, because you don't really, once movies go on digital like this in Oppenheimer, you don't really get that full experience watching it at home. Even though I have a sound bar and all that, have some great sound, to have a great TV to watch it on, you'll never have an experience like watching an IMAX. It's a totally different experience, totally different viewing experience. So it was kind of a really emotional experience, but man, I just love some of the scenes there. The score by Hans Zimmer just gets better and better each time I watch it. So of course, I had a tremendous time seeing it for a 9th time in IMAX. The last movie I watched this week was Tenet, and this was actually a growth watch for me. It's true growth, because I went into this not trying to understand it, but just to experience it. Because every single other time I've went into this movie, I've tried to, dissect everything, tried to understand everything that's going on, the reverse, the going forwards in time, all the other different prospects of this movie. And I went in to just experience, and I'd say I came out a happy man, because this truly worked on a whole nother different level for me. I think that this is now one of the best movies of all time, because if you're not trying to understand it, then you're just truly experiencing it as the characters are experiencing. And I think Christopher Nolan said it perfectly. He's like, I don't really go into my movies to truly understand everything, just go in for the experience. And I feel like he's correct on this one. I think it's one of the best scores I think I've ever heard too. Ludwig's score on this is crazy. Crazy. That posterity track is great. Rainy Night in Taiwan, when they start off the film, such an amazing track. Like, it gets me going, gets the energy flowing. I'm like, holy crap. The opera scene, one of the best opening scenes of all time, I swear. And I love the direction by Christopher Nolan. He's handling that so well by letting you see mostly what everything's happening at once, what everything is doing, everything going backwards, everything going forwards. John David Washington, Robert Pattinson, magnificent duo. Like, John David Washington, I don't think has been better since this. This is his best role yet. It kind of sucks because this did re-release in theaters like a month ago. It didn't re-release in mine, but I would have loved to see an IMAX again, because I remember first seeing an IMAX and I was like, what the heck happened? But now I should have told myself, just go in for the experience. Don't go in to understand, because now I feel like this is one of my favorite films of all time. It's a true masterpiece if you're just going in to experience the film, not trying to understand it at all. And I will say, Travis Scott's original song called The Plan is always on repeat for me whenever I'm working out, whenever I'm playing basketball. That song gets me hyped up to do anything. What an amazing original song. Plays in the end credits too. Plays in a little bit of the movie, a little bit of the instrumentals. I think Travis Scott nailed that track. So as that said, that's my week of films that I watched. Leave your week down below. What films did you watch this week? Leave your ratings. I had a pretty good week outside of, Problemista and Thundermans. I had a lot of different rewatches. Hopefully next week I'll be able to watch more. But as I said, let me know what you guys watched down below in the comments. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 600 subscribers. Helps out a lot. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.